This conference will now be recorded.
So in the yesterday's class, we have started seeing of your OOPS ALV. So what are the advantages while we working on with your OOPS ALV? And we have seen the OOPS ALV with structure example. So how to create your OOPS ALV with your structure example. And in today's class, we are going to see how can we work with the OOPS ALV with field catalog. So OOPS ALV with field catalog is what we are going to see under your today's session. So now in this, I'm going to show you how we are going to work in our real time. So exactly how we will be writing our code in our real time is what I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to SC38 and I'll be taking OOPS ALV with the field catalog. So I'll be using the same report for the rest of the remaining things. So like top of page and of list and logo, and I'll be working with the same report only. So now let me click on create. Oops, ALV with field catalog. I'm going to take this as executable program. Let me click on save. Let me provide the package as well as your TR. Okay, so now what is the first step? We have to write this over here as the no standard page heading, and then we will be writing the first one is your top include and then the selection screen design and validations, and then the main logic, and the last one you will be having your subroutines slash your class implementation. So the top include as well as your class definition. So this is the one. So now what I need to do here, include ZN 7 AM oops ALV field catalog underscore top. So this is my first include. So at the same time, I need to go ahead and create this as your S01 SO1, and at the same time we will be writing that as your M01 MO1, and the last one we will be writing this as your FO1 F01. So now let me go ahead and create this includes. I'm just going to create this F3. I'm just going to create my S01 include 2. I'm going to create my M01 include, and then I'm going to create my F01 include 2. Okay, so now let me activate all these things. So that's it. So we have done with our creating of our includes, Now what is your requirement? I'll just take the copy of the requirement what we have done for reuse ALV. So the same requirement, I'm going to take the copy of it, and now I'm going to show you how can we convert that into your oops format. So control C, and I'm going to have over here the requirement. So this is what my requirement is. Now for the very first time, what we are going to do, so whatever the fields that we are needed, we have to create our types declaration. But over here, what is our first step? We need to go ahead and create our top declaration. We need to go ahead and create our local class definition. So I'm just going to say this as local class definition. So class LCL underscore oops ALV field catalog, and I'm going to say this as definition, and I'm going to write this as your final. So what is the purpose of your final? So when you are writing this in final, you can't able to inherit that in your child classes, and then I'm going to write that in my end class. So now in between this, the first three steps you need to write. One is your public session, one is your protected session, and the last one is your private session. So this is the one we are going to write down. Now what is the next one? So under your public session, you need to create your types declaration, the first one. So whatever the output we want, the types declarations, we are going to define it. So now I'll be copying the types declaration which I'm having over here. I'll just copy this, and then I'm going to paste it over here, and then I'm going to create my table types. Table types. So now what I'll be saying, so I'll be just taking this as comma. So now GTT underscore final type standard table of GTY underscore your final. GTY underscore your final. So this is what we are going to do it, the first step. Now for this, we need to go ahead and create your thing. So now I'm just going to click on save. Now what is my selection screen? So I have my selection screen. So I'm just going to create these ones also. I have my selection screen. I'm also going to do how we are going to initialize and everything. So now the first one is go back. So under your top include, so here you can also define your declarations along with your class definitions. You can also regular data declarations you can able to define. Data declarations, data gv underscore vko rg type vko rg. So this is the first one I'm going to define because I want this in my selection screen. I want this in my selection screen for a select option. So I'm going to define this one. Now under your selection screen, so selection screen design, selection screen design, design. So now selection selection screen. So we will be creating a block, begin of block B1, begin of block B1 with the frame title. One second. Title text hyphen 001, and then selections selection screen. It will go ahead and create a block for us. So I'm just going to show you that end of block B1. That's it. Now in between that we are going to design our select option s underscore vko rg for gv underscore vko rg. Now I'm going to do my pretty printer. So now I'll just go ahead and create my selection text. So I'm going to say this as selection screen values. Selection screen values. I'll just activate this one along with my top as well as my S01. So now my class, my selection screen has been designed. When I click on execute, see here, you will be getting a block at the output. A block at the output. Inside this, we are going to create our selection screen values. So this is the first step we are going to do it. At the same time, if you want to go ahead and write down your VKO RG parameters, P underscore VKO RG for type VKO RG. Now I'm going to my text elements. So let me activate this one. Then only you can able to see all your text elements. Now go to your text elements and I'm going to my selection text. So I'll be taking the dictionary reference. Now I'll just say activate this one. Okay, let me take this underscore p parameter. I just want to differentiate those two ones. So that's the reason. So when I click on execute, you can able to see this one. So you know all these things. So I'm not going to worry about that. Now, what is your first step? So now initialization. So we are going to write our events initialization. So at the starting of your initialization, what is the first thing you need to do? We need to create a reference to the class. We need to create a reference to the class. To the class, I'm going to do a reference. So now how we are going to do that? So data go underscore obj is equal to new lcl underscore your oops alv with field catalog. Oops alv with field catalog. So that's what I'm going to do it. Now, whatever the subroutines you have written it over here, we will be writing everything in our field catalog, in our classes and methods. In the form of your classes and methods, we are going to write. Now, the first method. So let me go back. I'm just going to create the method. So whether you want that in your public or whether you want that in your protected or whether you want that in your private. So this method, whatever the method you are going to use, that method you are going to call in your selection screen. So in your selection screen, you're going to call. So where I need to keep it, I need to keep that in your public session. So I'm going to say this as so methods. So methods. So first one is, so we need to write methods and uh, pass underscore default values. Whatever the default values you want, you are going to pass that. So what will be your importing parameter? So these two are, for these two, you are going to pass your parameters. So default values for these two. So this must be your exporting parameters. So I'm just going to say exporting uh, e et underscore vkorg type. So as you know, selection screen is a internal table with a header line where you will be having your four fields. What are those four fields? So you will be having four fields. What are those? So sign, option, low, and high. Low and high. These are the four options which you will be having when you are working with your selection screen. So these are nothing but a range of values where you can pass. Now you need to find out the range for this VKORG. You need to find out the range. So to do that, go to /o se11. So now I'm going to take this to VKORG, click on display. It will open your data element. Just click on values list. Under your table types only, you can get your ranges. Under your table types only, you can get your ranges. Just click on execute. So now you can able to see here the range table for your VKORG. Let's say, for example, if you're not able to find out the range table for VKORG, then we will be going to create it as gr underscore VKORG type range of VKORG. So when you are declaring the type range of, it will just go ahead and create a range table. So when you are going to use this in your VKORG, this will act like as your it will act like as your range table. So remember that selection screen is also a range table. Selection screen is also a range table. So as of now, I have find out my standard one. So you can use that standard. So I'm going to use this one, selection ranges for sales organization. So this one I'm going to use it, or you can able to use this one also. If you go inside this one, you will be corresponding to your range. When you go into your structure row, see here 4 fields. Yeah, 4 fields, you can able to see that. So sign, option, low and high. So the same thing we are going to do that. Now you can also ask me, can I go ahead and directly use that in my selection screen? So you can also get that question. So why you are creating a data declaration and why you are defining that in your select option? So this ranges, you can able to use that only in your data declarations or method parameters passing, not in your select options. Select options will not support this format. Select options will not support this format. Okay, so now, and the next one is ev underscore vko rg type vko rg. Now this will be your the method. So now what I need to do, I need to go ahead and implement the method. As of now, I will be implementing in my top declaration itself. So later on, once our class is totally completed, then I will go ahead and utilize that. I'll go ahead and cut it over here. I'll be pasting in our F01, because instead of changing every time the programs, so first we will be writing down over here, and later on we will be pushing that to your F01. That's what we are going to do it. So now what is the next step? So I'm going to take class lcl underscore oops alv, and then I'm going to take this as implementation end class. Now the first method, what is your first method? Method pass default values and then end method. So what is the default value you want to provide it? So let me go to this program. What is the default value we have provided? We have provided, so we have provided p underscore vko rg as 2300. Let me show you the same thing. So I'm just going to provide that as ev underscore vko rg is equal to 2300, 2300. So I'm just going to do that. Now for the ranges, so now this is for your variable and this is for your ranges. So I'm going to say et underscore vko rg is equal to value hash. I'm going to take this as, so one single, so we need to add the value. So sign is equal to I, and then option is equal to, and then low is equal to, I'm going to have my same value 2300, and if you have any high, you can just provide that as your high value. So that's it. Before you go ahead and doing these variables, so you need to always clear, so all the exporting parameters, all the exporting and returning parameters must be cleared. So this is the first step. So this we will be adding that as a coding standards when you are working with your oops abap. So this is the one coding standard which you will be using. So I'll be saying this as clear ev underscore vko rg and et underscore vko rg. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. So now what I will do, I will go to my selection. So here I'll be passing that one. So geo underscore obj hyphen. So pass your default values. Pass your default values. So now what will be our values? So here I need to say this as s underscore vko rg, so the select option and then p underscore vko rg. That's it. So now do your pretty printer. So these are the values, whatever the output which I'm going to get for this I need to store it over here. So the logic we are going to write down in your method. Now let's activate this one. When I click on execute, see here automatically the default values has came up. The default values has came up. In the same way, the next method, what is our next method? The selection screen validation. The selection screen validation we will be going to write down. So now I'm going to my top include again. So I'll be writing my method. So as we are using this semicolon, so you can just use that as one more method. So now the next one, pass, sorry, validate selection screen, validate selection screen, selection screen variables. So now I'm going to take here, it will be our input values. So this value, whatever the values you are providing in your selection screen, so that will be our input to our methods. So now I'm going to take this only for parameter. I'm going to write ev underscore vko rg type vko rg, ev underscore vko rg, and then I'm going to write down here the exporting ev underscore, sorry, this is iv as it is an importing. So iv underscore subarc type size subarc. So whatever the value we are going to get when you are writing your selection, when you are writing that psi sub RC. So this is the one I'm going to do that one. So now let me do your pretty printer, and we need to go ahead and implement that method. So I'm going to say method validate selection screen, and then I'm going to write your end method and method. So now what I'm going to do it. So here when you are writing with your validations, so I'll be going and showing you one more select query. So let me check this whether that is going to work over here or not. So we will be writing that as one second. I'll be just going to show you that one. So I'm going to write one more select query. So that will be a new one. So when we are checking this, so instead of using your variables and everything, so we will be just checking whether the data is available or not via a ABAP true statement. So if that, whatever the value we have provided, we have that value or not. So you will be just writing this as so you will be writing. So previously how we will be writing, select single vko rg from table. What is our table? So tv underscore tvko into at the rate data of lv underscore evko, where vko rg is equal to at the rate iv underscore vko rg. Why I'm writing iv? So this will be our importing parameter, the input value. So now, so so then So we'll be just passing EV underscore Sabasi is equal to psi sub-RC. So whatever the sub-RC value we are going to get, so that we are going to pass this one. So here we are going to check on your field, which we will be utilizing the memory of this entire one. So instead of that, we can just write this as at the rate ABAP true. ABAP true. So select single ABAP true into, so you need to write this as your true into true where VKORG. So now the same query. So here it will just check ABAP true is single character. So whereas VKORG is a 4-character memory, is a 4-character memory. So we are reducing the memory what we are going to take it up. What we are going to take it up. So this is one new statement that has been introduced in your latest SAP. So you can able to utilize this when you are going to check on your validations, when you are going to check, or when you want to check whether the data is available in that table or not. This statement is mainly used to check the data is available, to check if the data is available in the table or not, in the table or not. So this is the one. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate the code. So now go back, and what I will do, I'll go to my S01. So now I'm going to say at selection screen, at selection screen. So now what is the value? So now, so I need to go ahead and say data underscore obj. So validate the selection screen. Validate your selection screen. So here I need to pass this as p underscore vkorg, and now here I'm going to take this as data gv underscore subrc. Now I will be writing the message over here. What is the message? If gv underscore subrc is not initial, that means it contains a value, or is not equal to 0. You can also write like this, not equal to 0 or is not initial, both are the same. Now I'm going to write my message. What is the message I'm going to write? I'll be going and writing here this one. So here we have utilized our message class also. Let me go ahead and utilize the same message class in our program too. So I'm going to utilize the message ID. So let me go back. So I'm going to take this as message E triple zero of your message class. Whatever the message class you have, message class, and then I'm going to take this as with p underscore vko rg. So whatever the thing, so you know this message class. Now do your pretty printer. Either you can utilize this message id at your first level, first writing of your code. So this we have shown you over here. So the type of your message, the message number and message class, you can able to pass this. Or if you want to if you are declaring at the main program level, then you don't need to write this message class over here. So this we have already discussed last time. So I'm not going to worry about that one. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. Where this period is missing. Okay, after end if. So now do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. So that's it. Now when I click on execute, if I pass some dummy value, oh sorry, for this we have created, my bad. See here, invalid sales organization. Invalid sales organization is what you are going to get it. So now the next one. The next one is what is the next thing we have taken up? What is the next one? So now F1 help. So the message F1 help. So either you can write down. So can I use the subroutines over here? Yes, you can go ahead and use the subroutines. So I'm just going to write down with my subroutines right now. At selection screen on field request value, not value, help request for P underscore VKORG. So you can able to do that one also. You can write down in subroutines or you can write down in methods. No one is going to ask you. So I'm going to write down that one. So now let me double click on this one. Let me click on yes. I'm going to have it in my F01. Yes. So now I'm going to pass the message. Whatever the message we have, I'm going to utilize that one. So kindly provide the sales org type error. So I'm just going to showcase both the things. You can able to use your, you can go ahead and create your methods, or you can use your subroutines also in one single program. You can able to use that one. So now go back and let me get activate this one too. Now if I say F1 over here, F1 over here, sorry, F1 over here, you will be getting this one. Kindly provide the sales organization. In a same way, I want to have my download. So where is that one? So let me go ahead and do that one too. So now in my selection screen, I'm going to have one more parameter. One more parameter, I'm going to declare this one. I'll be showing you this with CL underscore GI underscore front end services. So there is a class. In that class, we have to use for your F4. So now I'll just activate this one. I'll be going back to my class name, to my top include. So now I'm going to have my method. So what is the method I want to create? Perform F4. Perform or else open file, open file, or open front end service, presentation server, presentation server. So I'm going to take this as importing. What is your importing value? P underscore download, iv underscore download type. So I'm going to have this same one. I'm going to have this same one, and then this is for my importing. So exporting, anyways, you will be able to get that one directly. Sorry, this will be my exporting. So this will be my exporting. So this is the one. So now I need to go ahead and create this one. So now I'm going to take this as method. So what is the method name we have created? Open presentation server, open presentation server, and end method. So in this, so as of now, as of till today, what is the function module you are using? F4 underscore file name is your function module you are going to use to open your F4. But from here onwards, you should not use that one. So we have a class, either for downloading, uploading, and F4 functionalities. We have a class called as CL underscore GUI underscore front end services. So whatever the services which we are going to perform on your presentation server, for all this you will be having a class. So let me open that class for you guys. So now I'm going to open that one, SE24. So I'm just going to open CL underscore GUI underscore the front end services. I'm just going to click on display. Now over here, you need to always see your public sessions only. So here you can go ahead and see whether the directory exists. So even for your application server, I didn't tell you about your application server yet, guys. So for the other batch, for 8 a.m. batch, we have discussed about the directories. So for you guys, I didn't tell you about your directories yet. We are going to see that one at a later point of time. So now this is the one. No, not this one. So let me go to the parameters, and so this is whether the file is available or not. See, file open dialog, file open dialog. So this is the one. Or you can use whether you want to open a file or whether you want to save the file. So whether you want to open the file or whether you want to save the file on your presentation server. Right now, my requirement is to save the file. So I'm going to use this file save dialog. And this is a static method. See this? This is a static method. When you are working with your static method, you don't need to create a object reference. When we are working with static method, we don't needed to create a object reference. We don't need to create a object reference. Remember that. So we don't require it. So that means we can directly call, we can directly call the class and the method name. The class and your method name. So what I'm going to do here, CL underscore GUI underscore front end services. So in order to use your static method, you need to use this. So for your instance, you are using like this, whereas for your static method, you have to use like this. So now what is my requirement? Save file. So what is my method? File save dialog. File underscore save dialog. Now here you need to provide your file name. So what is the file name you have to provide? What is the path you need to provide? And what is your full path? So these are your mandatory values. These are your mandatory values where you want to provide this one. Where you want to provide this one. So this you need to provide it. So now the file name. So even directly you can provide it the file name over here, or the path which we are going to get from your presentation server. So you need to provide it over here, the path which we are going to come. So let me show you that one over on your Google Chrome. CL underscore GUI underscore front end services. So file save dialog. So I'm just going to use this one. So now I'm going to say I want to save the file in an Excel format. So they have an issue with your file save dialog. So if I go to this blogger, you can able to see how they are going to use that one. So file save dialogs. So whatever you want, the title and what is your path name. So here they are going to provide the path name and everything. Path name, GV path and GV full path. So now here they are going to use the GUI download and they are providing the GV full path. GV full path they are going to provide this one. So this is the example program for this. You can go ahead and refer this one for your save dialog. When you are going to save this, you can just refer to that. I'm just going that in your chart window. You go ahead and work with this. How can you work with your save dialog? As of now, I'm not going to provide this one. I'm not going to provide this one. So now let me activate this one. So now go back to my S01. I'll just go ahead and say at selection screen on help value request for P underscore download. So here I'll be just writing so gr underscore obj. So this is your instance. So you have created an instance and you are going to call your method. So without that you can able to do that. When you are going to create a class methods, you can directly, you don't need to create this initial, you don't need to do this. You can directly call your class hyphen your method. Even the local is also possible. Even in your local is also possible. I'll be showing you that in your next upcoming classes with one more example on that. Okay, so now what is the value I want to provide? Open, it's not working. So what is the class? So let me go to /o SC38 ALV, not ALV, oops, ALV with field catalog. So now in my top declaration, what is the method you have open? Open presentation server. Open presentation server. So I'm going to have this one, and then so here the control spacebar is not working, so you need to write manually. So now this will be my importing parameter. Importing. So what is your variable? You have EV underscore down. EV underscore down is equal to P underscore download. P underscore download, then close your method and then pull stop. So now do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. Sorry, it's GO. My type of mistake over here. That's why it's not working. So now let's get activate this one. So that's it. And I click on execute, you can able to see your F4 over here. So whatever the value you are going to provide it, so that you have to pass it in this. That you have to pass it over here is what we need to do it. Is what we need to do it. Okay. So now go back and then this is the one. Now, what is the next one? So we have done all your validations. What are the validations we have? We have just done all your validation. It's time for me to get the data. It's time for me to get the data. So now I'll be just going to my top declarations again. In this, I'm going to say this as get underscore data. So what is my importing parameter? So I have used my s underscore vko rg. So it underscore vko rg. This is the type. The selection screen, whatever the variables, that will be your importing parameter. That will be your importing parameter. And then the next remaining is et underscore. So the next one is your exporting et underscore final type. I'm just going to work with my final. So gtt underscore your final. gtt underscore your final. So whatever the method I have, whatever I have created the table types, I have been utilizing that one over here. Now do your pretty printer. And now let me go to this method. Let me create this method get underscore data. So I'm going to write this as end method. So in between these, we need to go ahead and write down your logic. So whatever the logic I have, I'm just going to copy that one till the final. I'm just going to copy that one. So till here, I'm going to copy that one. So the entire data I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it over here. But whatever the unnecessary comments I have, I'll just go ahead and remove that unnecessary comments. So the old style and everything, I'm just going to remove it over here. I'm just going to remove it. So now you need to change this one. So here, this will be your what is here? it underscore vkorg. Control S, Control F2, Control F2. Okay, and let me activate the program. It will be detecting your errors. Activate. One more error, it will be showing you up. So gt underscore final, instead of this one, this is et underscore your final. So that's it. Now your data has been came up. Whatever the data you have, you just provided this. Internally, can I go ahead and use this multiple methods? Yes. For each and every select query, you go ahead and create one more method also. Nothing will happen. So, but all my entire data, I'll be going to have in my one single method. All my entire data, I'll be having it my one single method. So that's what I'm going to do it over here. So that's what I'm going to do it. So this we have already seen when we are working with our use ALV grid display. The new syntaxes we have already seen that one. So this is how you need to write down your select queries, and we have got your data. Now, once you got your data, it's time for me to display your data. Now, for the displaying part, we will be going with your main logic. So now my entire class is been completed. The class, where is this? The class implementation is completed. Now what I will do, I will be cutting this entire one. I'll cut this entire one, cut this. So now go back, go back. Yes, I'm going to my F01. Here I'll be pasting my entire class. So this is what we will be doing it. So now the class definition will be in your top declaration, and class implementation will be in your FO1. FO1. So in your subroutines as well as your class implementations. That's what I have mentioned it over here. The class implementation. Now it's time for me to go ahead and write down my main logic. So now let me go to my main logic. So here, what is the one I have to use? The start of selection, and we need to call our screen. Call, sorry, call screen. So 9000. I'm just going to create my screen. I'll just double click on this, click on yes, click on yes. So now I'm going to say this as main screen to display the report, and then I'm going to my layout. I'll be designing my custom container, whatever the container I want. So from which area I want. I'm going to showcase you a space over here. Why? Because I want to display my top of page, the end of list and all these things. I want to display that one. So for that, I'm going to have a space over there. So to showcase that CL underscore DD underscore document. So to use that class, I'm going to do that one. So now let me go ahead and create the container for you guys. So at the bottom also, I'm just going to utilize some of the space for to show you the end of list. Okay, so this is the one. So now I'm going to clicking on your save. Before that, let me give you the container name gc underscore cont. So you can give whatever the name you want. So I was always habituated with gc underscore cont, so that's the reason I have given you that name. So now close this. Let me close this one also, and then let me go to my flow logic. I'll be just activating my modules. So over here, as this is a PBO, do I need to create and include with PBO? No. Only for module pool programming, you will be creating your PBO and PAI includes. That means O01 and I01 include, but over here, you will be just writing that everything in your FO1 itself. FO1 itself, we will be going to write down that. So now in the same way, the user command in your FO1. So the FO1. So here you need to go ahead and create your PF status, which we have already discussed in your yesterday's class. And then you need to write down your logic. So what is the first step? So I want to get the data. The first step is, so previously what we have done, and I open this my previous program, SC38. So ALV, ALV with the structure. So what you have done it, you have got your data. So now at the same way, I need to get my data. So I'm just going to have my get underscore the data. So get the data. I'm just going to say geo underscore obj hyphen. I'm going to have my get underscore. What is that method? What is the method I have created? So over here only it have. So get underscore data, get underscore your data. So I'm going to utilize that method get underscore the data. So now I'll be opening this one, importing parameter. What is my importing parameter? IT underscore VKORG is equal to S underscore VKORG. And the next one is uh, this will be our exporting parameter. Sorry, this is our exporting, and here it will be our importing parameter et underscore final is equal to data of, or I can say data of gt underscore your final. So that's it. So usually what we will be doing, this get data we used to write down in your after this one. So now activate this one in your M01 also. I'll just going to activate. So your module, or else some people what they will write, what they will do, as this is under your main logic, they will be copying this one and they will be keeping that in your M01. Let me go ahead and show you that one. So they will be writing that in your M01 itself. So over here, because the PBO and PAI, the screen corresponding logic has to be over here. So they will be going and writing it over here itself. Now let me activate this one, F01, as well as we do have our Dyne Pro. So let me open this one and let me activate at the main level, activate. Okay, so we have created, we got your data too. Now what it's time to go ahead and initialize your container. Initialize the container. So initialize. So for this, what I am going to do, so we are going to say data of geo underscore cont is equal to new cl underscore gui underscore custom container. So this is the one. So you need to provide your container name. What is your container name? gc underscore your cunt. gc underscore your cunt. You can also use that in your program. You can also go ahead and create this in a form of your method too. Let me go ahead and do that one too. So now let me copy this one. Let me cut this one, or else I'll go ahead with your copy one. So now I'll go here. I'll be going to my top include. So I'll be going to take this as uh, initialize container. I initialize container. Initialize container. So what will be my exporting? So this will be my we will be going and writing this as your importing only. Importing iv underscore cunt type. What is your container name? So let me go to my, okay, let me open one more session, SC38. Oops, ALV with field catalog. I'll be just displaying this one. I'll be going to my M01. So this will be your container name. You're going to provide this one. Just go to the class and under your constructor method, I'm going to have my parameters. So this is your container name, type C. So I'm going to write down the same one type. You can say this as your string. You can just say is your string. So now Control S, go back. I'm going to my F01. Under your method, I'm going to have method initialize container. I'm going to take this as end method. And method. So now you are going to initialize. Now this initialization, when you are doing it over here, you will be getting an issue. I'll be telling you that. So data of geo underscore cunt is equal to new CL underscore GUI underscore custom underscore container. Custom underscore your container. Here you have to provide your container name. What is your container name? IV underscore cunt. IV underscore your cunt. So that's it. So I'm going to activate this one. Do your pretty printer, and let's get activate this one with my top as well as your F01. Is not compatible, so I'm just going to say convert. I'm going to use this one. So convert, I'm just going to use this one. Now it will be show, it has to show me that as your compatible. So let me go to the top as well as your F01. No, convert. I'll just go ahead and activate this one. So generic type cannot be used over here. Okay. Char 100. So now, so I'm just going to define this as char 100, or you can define that. I have defined that over as string. So when you are passing this, it's not working. Now, what will be your issue? So this container we have initialized, that we are going to use that in your ALV grid. So if I go here, so the container, whatever the container we have used, we are going to use that in your ALV grid also. As we are going to define this in your local, as we are going to define this in your local, so this, when you come out from this, so this data declaration doesn't have any memory, pass by value and pass by reference, pass by value and pass by reference. When you want to use this one, you need to always do that at your local itself, at your, sorry, so this we need to declare that as at your class definition, and you need to create a, so the old style you have to use it. So data type reference to this one, and you have to create your object. So how I'm going to do that one is what I'm going to show you. Now let me go to your top declaration. Let me go back to your top declaration. So now here I'm just going to have my data declarations. So I'll just go ahead and say this one as your data declaration. Data declaration. So I'm going to take this as data geo underscore cunt type a reference to cl underscore gui underscore your custom container. So this is the one I am going to use that. Now in the initialize container, so what I will do, I'll just go ahead and create a object, create object geo underscore cunt, geo underscore your cunt. So this is the one you have to use it. So here you need to pass your container name. So I'm going to say this as convert char 100 of IV underscore your container, IV underscore. So whatever the container we are going to provide, IV underscore cunt is the one we are providing it up. So I'm just going to provide that one, IV underscore cunt. So that's it. So I'm just going to provide that one. So I'm not going to use NV. I'm not going to use the remaining other things. So I'll be just raising my exceptions too. I'll be just raising my exceptions. Exceptions. So now I'll be just going to write down that exceptions too. Now pretty printer, and let's get activate. I'm just going to activate my code. So this is how you have to write down. This is how you have to write down when you are going to use that. Now this initialize container, I'm going to use that in my M01. When I go ahead and click on this, so here I'm not going to use that one. So initialize container, so geo underscore obj. I'm just going to say this as obj. Let me go to here top declaration, yes. I'm just going to copy this one and I'm going to my M01. So now I'll be just pasting it over here. I'll just going to take this as initialize container, and I'm going to take this as exporting IV underscore cont is equal to, I'm just going to say this as your GC underscore your container. So that's it. I have initialized my container. So this is what you have to do it. This is what you have to do it when you are going to initialize. When you are going to initialize your container, this is what you need to do it. Now, what is the next one? We need to initialize our ALV2. So once we are done with your initializing of your container, so you need to initialize your ALV grid. So you can go ahead and create a method, or you can just say, so I'm just going to say this as if geo underscore obj hyphen, what is your data declaration which we have provided, geo underscore cont. So this is the one we have declared. So now I'm just going to tell you that one. I'm going to use this variable geo underscore cont. I'm going to use that one. So geo underscore cont is is not bound is not bound, then I need to go ahead and create the the ALV. So the data declaration, in this you will be having your value. When I do my pretty printer, let me activate this one. So no issues at all. So we are going to check this. Now this one I'm going to provide that to my ALV. If you are not going to write a method for this, I'm not going to write down a method. So I'm going to show you in every single time, so I'm going to tell you the initializing of your method, initializing the ALV. So now I'll be just going to say data geo underscore ALV is equal to new CL underscore GUI underscore ALV underscore your grid. ALV underscore your grid. So here my parent container will be this one. So now I'm going to provide this my parent container. My parent container. I don't want any other things. I'm just going to remove that one. I'm also just going to remove that one. So now if geo underscore ALV is bound, so I'm going to write down my exception. So this is what my message, this one I'm going to provide it over here. So now you have your container, you have your ALV grid. For this ALV grid also, you can go ahead and create a method. No one is going to stop you guys. No one is going to stop you. You can just go ahead and create your method. So I'm just going to show you, for container I have defined a method. For this I'm not going to define a method, but usually for this also we will be defining your method too. We'll be defining your method for this one also. Now, after this, it's time for me to display the ALV. Okay, it's time for me to display your ALV. So I'm going to say display the ALV. So what is that? So this is your geo. So now it's time for me geo underscore ALV. So I'm just going to say set table for the first display. So here you need to provide this one. What is the internal table? GT underscore final. Now it's time for me to build this field catalog. As we have only particular fields, it's time for me to build this field catalog. So how I'm going to build this one? So for this field catalog, I'll be just going and writing a method. Build field catalog. I'll just go ahead and write down a method. Apart from this, do we have any other things? No, I don't have any other things. I can just remove my exporting. So now if I go to this set table for your first display, so IT underscore field catalog, if I go here to my changing parameters, IT underscore your field catalog. This is of LVC underscore T underscore FCAT. LVC underscore T underscore your FCAT. So double click on this. This will be your table type. So from your OOPS ABAP onwards, they are not going to use your uh, type group. They will always go ahead and create a table type. In that, they will be assigning up your structure. So in this, we need to go ahead and provide whatever the values we have. We just need to provide all those things over here. Whatever the values we have, we just need to provide all those things. So whatever you want, you will be just providing all those things in your field catalog. Let me go ahead and create that field catalog. So LVC underscore T underscore FCAT. So I'm just going to my top declaration. So what I will do, I'll go to my change mode. I'll be just creating a method create fcat, create field catalog. So I'm going to say this as importing. So what will be your importing parameter will be this one, it underscore final type gtt underscore your final. And then I'm going to take this as returning value. I'm going to use this returning value. So I'm just going to take this as uh, et underscore fcat, et underscore fcat. So type this one. So why I'm going to use this returning value? So for sure you need to provide this one. So this value is going to return. So I'm going to showcase you everything. I'm going to showcase you whatever the parameters that we are going to use in everything. So I'll be going to my uh, I'll be going to my F01. I'll be going to create that method. So I'm going to have method. I'm going to take this as create field catalog and then end method and then end method. So over here, you need to just provide the value. So what I need to create, so I'm just going to have et underscore fcat is equal to value hash, or if you know this parameter, just go ahead and provide this one. This I don't need it. Let me go to my top declaration. Yes. So now this you know it. LVC underscore T underscore FCAT. I'm just going to provide that one. So with the standards, I'm just using that one. So value LVC underscore T underscore FCAT. So you just need to provide your field name, field values, and everything. So let me copy that from my old document, what we have done it. So this is the one. I'm just going to provide that one. So field name, column position, field name, table name, or you can go ahead and create one more method for this also. I'll just show you that one too. So you need to call that methods every time. So what we have done in your subroutines, if I go to my oops ALV with the structure, so what you have done, you have created, sorry, where is this? Yeah, this is our, you have created your performs. The same thing we will be going and we will go ahead and do this in your method also. We can go ahead and do that in your method too. How I'm going to do that? So under this, we will be going and creating one more method. So this is for your create field catalog. So now I'll go to my top declaration for one more time. So what I will do, I'll just go ahead and say method create single fcat. I'm going to use that one. So what will be your importing parameter? So whatever the parameters you are going to provide, the field name. So if I go here to my F01, the column position. So these are the one. So the first one is your column position. So type. So what is your column position? So over here you just need to go to your column position. So let me go back to CL underscore GUI underscore slash and SE24 CL underscore GUI underscore ALV underscore grid GUI underscore ALV underscore your grid. So now I'll just click on display. So what is your method? Set table. Set a table for your first display. I'm going to my parameters. In that, you will be having LVC underscore T underscore your FCAT. So go inside this one, go inside this one. So first one is your column position. So this is the one you need to provide it for this column position. And the next one is, what is the next one you have? What is the next one you have? Field name. So now you need to check for your field name. So this is my field name. I'm just going to provide this my field name type. What is your field name? LVC underscore F name. So I'm just going to provide that one. So after your field name, you will be having your table name. So you have your table name. I'm just going to provide the table name type. So this is the one. So table name. So the next one is, once after you provided your table name, so reference table name, or else I'll just go to my Word document. So this will reference table, REF underscore your table. So let me go ahead and check REF underscore a table. So reference table name. So this is the one. So I'm going to use this one, reference table name. Type your reference table name. So all your importing parameters, remember guys, we have to always keep that as optional. So every time go ahead and keep that as optional, all your importing parameters. So here this is an exporting, this is an importing. I'm just going to have my optional and optional. Maybe if you are not using, or maybe if you are not going to use that, you can just skip that one. So for that reason, I had just provided that one. Next, a reference table name, and then a reference field name. A reference field name type, I'm just going to have my reference field name. What is this? LVC underscore RF name. And then I'm going to say this as exporting. I'm going to have the same thing, et underscore fcat type LVC underscore T underscore your fcat. So I'm just going to provide that one. So now we need to go ahead and do this one. Do your pretty printer, and let's copy this one. Go ahead and create your method in your F01. Instead of writing that, so I'm just going to utilize my method concept. So now method, and then I'm going to take this as end method. So I'm just going to take this as append value hash, value hash. So what are the field names you have? So this is the one. Copy this entire thing. So here I'm going to take this as IV underscore your. So what is the method name I have provided? Top declaration. So this is the one. So that's the reason I always write down at the starting itself. So I'm going to take this as IV underscore column position. Next, IV underscore field name, IV underscore your table name, IV underscore your reference table name, IV underscore your reference field name, importing parameters. So we have to follow the naming conventions. Now I'm just going to my F01. So this will be your IV underscore your column position, the same name which we have provided. I'm just going to provide it over here. The field name, control C, I'm just going to have my field name. So IV underscore the field name. Next, IV underscore the table name, IV underscore the table name. And next one is IV underscore the reference table. And the next one is IV underscore your reference field. Reference field. So this is the one. So let align to this code. Align to this code. So what is one? 2ET underscore 2ET underscore top declaration ET underscore your FCAT. So let me click on your back. It will directly go there. ET underscore your FCAT. So this is the one. So now let me go here, Control S. So activate. I'm just going to activate my top as well as your F01. Sorry, full stop. Activate this one. I'm just going to activate my top as well as your F01. So once you have done your activation, it's time for me to call this method. It's time for me to call this method. So what is that method? So creating your single field, creating field catalog, field catalog for what is that? For what is my first field? My first field is, sorry, let me go back. Okay, this is also my oops ALV. Yeah, creating my field catalog for VBELN. So now I'm going to have this VBELN. So now I'll just going to have my VBELN. So now I'll just say create create underscore single field catalog. Create underscore single field catalog. Now here the column position. What's your column position? 1. What is your field name? VBELN. What is your table name? So GT underscore final. And then what is your reference table name? VBAK. So this is the one we are going to provide. VBAK VBAK. And what is your reference field? VBELN. And what will be your exporting parameter? ET underscore your FCAT. So this is the one. So like this, we have to do it for every single field. Every single field, we have to do it. So after this, I'm going to stop our session. So now the next field. What is our next field? POSNR. POSNR. I'll just going to copy this one entire thing. I'll be just providing this one. So now to POSNR. POSNR. This is VBAP, and this one is your POSNR. POSNR. Now for your third field. What is your third field? Third field is ERDAT. ERDAT. I'm just going to utilize that one again. So the third one, and I'm going to say this one as ERDAT, and this one as VBAK, the same thing, ERDAT. ERDAT. Now the fourth one. What will be your fourth one? ERNAM. ERNAM. So I'm just going to have this one as my fourth one. ERNAM, and this one as ERNAM. Now the fifth one. What is your fifth one? So VBTYP. VBTYP. I'm just going to copy this one. I'll just go ahead and provide this as fifth one. So this one as VBTYP and VBTYP. Remember that always when you are creating your field catalog, all these must be in your capital letters only. All this must be in your capital letters only. Sorry, VBTYP. Now the next one. What is the next one I have? After this VBTYP, AUART. So this is your sixth field. So I'm going to take this as your AUART, and this one as, sorry, VBAK only, and this one as your AUART. Now the seventh field. What is my seventh field? VKORG, VTWEG, and SPART. VKORG, seventh one. So I'm going to take this as VKORG, and then this one as your VKORG. The next one, VTWEG. VTWEG. So this is the one. So eighth one, I'm just going to provide this VTWEG, and this one as your VTWEG. Now the next one is SPART. SPART. Now I'm just going to provide this one as your ninth one. Then SPART, and this one as your SPART. Now my SPART is also done, the ninth one, and then 10th one is okay. 10th one is MATNR, MATNR, and CHARG, and then what is the next one? PROD, PRODH, PRODH. So I'm going to do that one too. So now this is my 10th one. This is my MATNR, MATNR reference table VBAP, and then this one as your MATNR. So I'm going to copy this entire one for MATNR. I'm just going to done for your CHARG. So this is for my 11th one. So I'm going to do it for my CHARG and CHARG. So now the next one is PRODCH. So PRODCH is also from your VBAP only. Okay. So now this is my 12th one. So this one is PRODH, and this one is also your PRODH. Now the 13th. So after this, ZMENG, okay, ZMENG, and the next one is ZM, ZIEME, ZIEME, IEME. The next one, what is your next one? MTART, MBRSH, MTART, MBRSH, and then MATKL, MATKL. So this is the one. So for this one, I'm just going to write down this one as 13th, ZMENG, ZMENG, and this one is also this ZMENG. Now ZIEME. So now 14th, I'm just going to take this as ZIEME, and this one as here ZIEME, ZIEME. So now for your MTART, so I'm just going to have this one, so which is my 15th. So MTART. So this one from your MARA table, MARA, and MTART, MTART. So now copy this one 15th. So MTART is 15th only, right? Yeah. So like that you have to do it for everything. So 16th one, 16th column, I'm going to have MBRSH, and this one is also my MBRSH. Now MATKL, I'm just going to have this 17th. So MATKL, MATKL, and this one is also my MATKL. So after this one, after your KL. So BISMT MEINS. So BISMT and then MEINS. So instead of that, what I will do, I'll go to my top declaration itself. BISMT MEINS. So this is the one. Kunar. So Control Shift right arrow. Sorry, Alt Shift right arrow and down arrow. So copy this one. I'll go to my F01. So here we are writing this one. So I'll be just taking a copy paste of this so that every time I don't need to go ahead and do that. Okay. So now BSIMT. So now this one I'm going to copy this entire one. So BSIMT. So here this is my 18th. So BISMT. BISMT, and here also this is from your Mara and this is for my BISMT. Next MEINS. So for this also I'm going to have my 19th one, 19th, and this one is MEINS, NS, and this one is MEINS, Mara. The next one is Kunar. For your Kunar, so from your KNA1 you will be getting it one. So this is your 20 KUNNR, KUNNR, and reference field name is KNA1, KNA1 hyphen your KUNNR. The next one, so land one. So land one, so 21. So I'm going to take this as my land one. So GT underscore final, and this one is for my land one. So the next one is land one description. This is a custom, this is a field which we have created. So I'll be going to tell you that one. So now, so this is my 2223. So 23, and this is my name one, and KNA1 hyphen your name one. So now ORT01, which is nothing but my 24 field, 24, and then this one is your ORT01, and this one is also your ORT01. And next PLSTZ, which is nothing but your 25 field. So PSTLZ, and this one is also PSTLZ. So next region, REGIO, so which is nothing but your 26th field. So REGIO, and this one is also your REGIO. Next, these two are your independent fields. So now for this, we need to define your descriptions manually. So if you go here, for this, we have provided a country name. So where we have divided your cell text medium, and all these things we have provided. Now, in a same way, let me go to your field catalog. Sorry, let me go to my top declaration. Yes. So now here you need to provide this one. So this one is also your optional. Next, IV underscore cell text medium. So if you go here, you will be having this cell text long, cell text medium, and cell text small. So I'm going to take this as cell text type. So this is my long text field. So long text field. So that's why I'm keeping this as optional. Right now, I am not going to use this to one because I'm going to provide my own descriptions. I have to provide my own descriptions. So that's the reason. So cell text medium, IV underscore. So type cell text median and optional IV underscore screen text small, type screen text small, optional. So this is the one. So now these three things we have to provide this. These three things we have to provide. So now what are the things we want to provide? So let me go here to my yes. So here you will be having this IV underscore your sorry cell text long is equal to IV underscore this one. Now cell text medium is equal to IV underscore your cell text medium. And the next one is cell text short is equal to IV underscore your cell text short. So that's it. Now for these ones, I need to provide that one. So now I'll just going to provide this create a single fcat. So now you got your cell text medium and everything. So these two I don't need it. These two things I don't need it. So this one I have to provide. So I'm just going to have my exporting. So now here the column position. What is my column position? 22, 22. And what is my field name? Land one underscore your description. What is my table name? GT underscore final. GT underscore your final, and what is your length. So now I'm going to say CTRY underscore name. So this is the one I'm going to provide for all this medium as well as your short. Short. So now do your pretty printer. Now the same thing we want to utilize. So here ET underscore your FCAT. So now copy this one and I'm going to use that for my region description and sales area. So now this is my 27th one. So this is my region description, REGIO. So now I'm going to take this as region name. So what is that I have provided? Okay, REGO underscore description I'm just providing. So DES, I'm just providing my short name as well as my short name too. So now for this sales area, I want to provide. So now control C, 28th field one is your sales area. 28 is your sales area. So I'm just going to provide this one as your sales area. So now this one, I'm just going to provide this as the sales area. So this description, I'm going to provide it over here. See how many lines of code we have written, the program. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. So I'm just going to activate my top and F01. So that's it. Now go to your M01. Here you have to create your field catalog. Before this, I just want my field catalog. So get the field catalog. Get the field catalog. So go underscore obj and then go underscore your object. And what is the method you have utilized under your top? Let me go to my top declaration. So this is my field catalog. Inside that one I have used. So let me copy this. So I'm going to take this as optional, or else you don't need this one also. You don't need this one also. So I'm just going to have directly my returning parameter, control S. So for your returning parameter, when you want to use it, so now when you want to use this for your returning parameter, so on your M01, so you just need to say, where is this one? Data. So whatever you want, you just go ahead and say this as gt underscore fcat is equal to, you just provide your method. You just provide your method. So that's it. Now do your pretty printer. And now here you need to provide your field catalog gt underscore your fcat. So returning parameter for sure you have to provide it. Now do your pretty printer and let's get activate the code. Okay, so let me activate from here. Yeah, okay, let me go to my display mode and let me activate from here. No issues at all. So this is how you have to define your field catalog. Now when I click on execute and activate this one, execute. So now when I click on execute, why my container is not assigned? So my container has not assigned. Let me go ahead and check that one. Why it's not assigned? So now this is the one. Let me click on execute and let me click on execute. My debugger has been started. F5. So F5. So get data. F6. We got your data. So the 3 records we got it. So why it's only 3 records? Okay. So now F6. So is not bound. So whether it is bound, yeah, it's bound only. F5. Okay. So sorry, typo mistake. It's, we have to say it's bound. Is not bound. Sorry, is bound. We need to write down. That's the error. So let me go back and I'll just provide you with the change mode and I'll go to my M01. This is bound. Is bound. So now I'll just activate this one. And now when I click on execute and when I click on execute, your breakpoint has been triggered. So F5, so F6, we got the data and then F6, F5. So I'm just going to initialize my ALV. So now, oh, sorry, here is not bound. Shit. Okay, anyways, so we got your data. See here, the data has been provided, but there is some, see, whatever the things which you have done it, the data has been provided. Now if I go to slash and SC38, let me change that one to is bound. Is not bound. So typo mistakes, sorry for that, guys. So now you got your data. So let me remove the breakpoint over here and let me click on execute and let me click on your execute. See here, you got your data. Whatever the data you have, you got on your ALV report. On your ALV report, you got your data. So this is how you need to work with your ALV with field catalogs. ALV with field catalogs. Okay. So in tomorrow's class, we are going to see about your layout. So the back button and all these things, you go ahead and write down your code as I already told you in your yesterday's session. So in this, we have something called as your layout. Under this M01, when I'm going to call this, you will be having your layout. So we will just go ahead and fill that layout too. So whatever the things that we have performing on your layout, you can just go ahead and do that. Even for this, you have your edit option and all these things. Where is this layout? Layout, yeah, this one. So this you need to provide. So zebra color, edit mode. So whatever the things which we have seen over there, you can able to see all those things over here. So we'll be going to check that the layout also in tomorrow's session, and then we will be going to see our the top of page. How can you display your top of page, and how can you display your logo, and how to display your end of list. By that we will be completing most of our oops ALV. So what we have discussed, so if I go up, so so we have seen ALV with field catalog, and the next one we are going to see is oops ALV with the with layout options, layout options, and then ALV with the top of page and ALV with events. So tomorrow we are going to see these three things. And if possible, I'll also go showcase you the splitting of your screen. The splitting of your screen, how can you work with, and 3 ALV and docking container. So most probably by Saturday, we are going to complete the entire oops. In Monday class, we are going to see your SALV. SALV. So I'll be just providing you the list, what methods you have to use. You can directly use that things. So that's it. So that's the end of today's session. Before I signing off for today's session, any other questions? Okay, I'll be considering it as no questions, and we'll meet you tomorrow at the same time, and we'll continue with our session. Thank you. Thank you all.